See if all the cameras on. Yeah. Good morning. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Thank you guys for joining me this morning for another episode of Back to the World, my brother and my sister's keeper. I'm Tony. Thank you guys for showing up this morning. If you have any comments, questions, anything that you care to share, hit us in the boxes down below. Like, comment, share. And on Instagram, man, please subscribe and press that like button. But at any rate, I'm going to give a few of you a chance to come on. Probably get me a shot of coffee, and we're going to make it in real time, because you know what? I got a lot I want to say this morning. I got a lot I want to share with you guys. And, it's, how they say, I have a bone to pick. Well, it's not so, I somewhat have a bone to pick. And it's a grievance. It's a grievance on my part. So I just want to, there's some things I want to get off my chest, if you will. And bear with me, man. I hope you guys will stay on. Matter of fact, we're going to get started. And I'm going to go and prepare me a cup of coffee after we get going. Because I see someone's on. And I'd like for someone to catch this live, man, in real time. Okay. As you know, our platform here is called Back to the World. Okay. And all of our platforms, that's not the only platform that we have, but each of our platforms were built systematically with a purpose, okay? So we started with Back to the World. Back to the World literally means that because I designed this business or this platform for men and women that were returning back to society. Not necessarily only from prison, but mainly from prison and incarceration. Because once you were incarcerated, there were so many other things, and once you're released, there's so many things that's going to affect your life when you come back into society. And I already knew it was going to be a hard time for a lot of us to navigate. Now, a lot of us get out and we lie, and we become we become somewhat disoriented, misled. There are other words I'm looking for, but anyway, we'll come back to that. It's not so early, but I've been up very, very early. I've been up since 3:30, so I'm sleepwalking and I'm sleep talking at this point in time. But we started Back to the World, so it can be an easy transition for brothers and sisters, men and women of all races and nationalities that were returning back to society from prison. Okay? After building Back to the World, we started another platform called Billionaires Roundtable Conference. And what Billionaires Roundtable Conference was all about, it was to sit down and just go over ideas about business, setting up a business, starting a business, all the principles of business and working together. That's what Billionaires Roundtable Conference was all about. So if you had any thoughts, ideas on where you wanted to get started and what you were interested in, that's what Billionaires Roundtable Conference was all about. Okay. After Billionaires Roundtable Conference, we built the platform for the main business that we intended to create from the very beginning, and that was Sonetquity Bookclub and Sonetquity Publishing Company. All right. Now the purpose for Sonetquity basically stands for social networking with equity. Okay? So that means that social networking means we come together as a group. Okay? And we network. So by it being community, then it's social. Equity means that you own. You're building for proprietary purposes. You're building to own your own business and have equity in the whole bit. And that was our purpose. Okay. So that's the stair step, and that's how we led to all these different platforms. But the bone that I have to pick is this. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that a lot of us, once we were released back into society, it was going to be very, very difficult to find a job. And the word that I was looking for earlier is that many people that come back from prison, literally, they're delusional. There are many, many things that they think they're capable of when, in fact, society is not going to let them accomplish certain things. So, and we constantly stare that that five-headed monster in the face, and we try to defy it. And what happens is you end up dealing with recidivism, because then later on you find out how corrupt the system is and how much structure, how much the structure on the penal system is built to keep you down and keep you oppressed. Let me tell you something. Once you get a prison number, once you get a number and you've been incarcerated, right after that, there are so many laws that are against you, you violated just one. Well, that's only the beginning. Because see, you never had a criminal record. You never had a felony before. So now that you have this felony, almost 40,000 other laws are going to kick in once you get out of prison. That number is going to follow you. Now Google and everything has it just all over, so you can't hide it, you can't suppress it, and if it's a felony in the whole 9 yards, you can't get it expunged. So now, first and foremost, if you sold drugs or you're a pedophile, you can't live within a certain area. So now you've been redlined against. All right? In most states, you can't vote. Now, we're not going to talk about the jobs. You can't work in education. You can't work in finance. You can't work in real estate. You can't work in insurance. And you can't work in government. So, and don't get me wrong, every now and then someone slips through the cracks, because I know of someone personally that works in city government. They had this position before going to prison, and then once they got out, they ended up going back into this particular job again. So that person was blessed or lucky, or he had to, or put it this way, the employment gods were smiling down on him. But everyone is not going to have that opportunity. So here's where my grief and my grievance comes in. See, prior to going to prison, I had multiple businesses. I've worked most of my life. So I understood the employment cycle and employment circle. But now once you get out and you haven't had that, and you've been maybe hustling all your life, you're lacking certain education and certain skills the whole bit, it's going to be damn near impossible for you to get a job. So you got to start your own business. So I set out to make this transition easier by starting Sonetquity. Because see, a lot of us are going to get out and we're not going to be able to get a job with any of these businesses or sectors or industries. So I designed Sonetquity so it can be easy and very, very simple in a breeze for transitioning. Because see, most of us, we already had the social skills. Because if you're hustling and you're doing a lot of things, you didn't do it by yourself. You incorporated somebody else to do it with you. So you already have the skills of recruiting. If you come and tell me, let's go sell some drugs together and we're in the streets, See, you're already marketing. You're already marketing. So now you have to buy the product, steal the product, or whatever the situation may be, and now you have to sell it and move it. So that's distribution. So you have all these skills. Many businesses, it's going to take seed money to get started. I realize that. And I realize that you can't do this for free. So therefore, you're going to need seed money. So I designed a business so you wouldn't have to have a lot of money to start. So to sign up for Sonetquity is just $65 to become a member. And then now $65 and you get your ID number. You know what that's equivalent to, ladies and gentlemen? That's equivalent to you going to your supplier and scoring your drugs or doing whatever it is that you're doing. And now you come back and you incorporate your friends. You know, you can separate the product, but you can't separate the process. To get started at anything that you're doing that takes effort, be it legal or illegal, there's a process that you're going to have to go through. So I know many of you still have that hustle grind in you. So I built this business to keep that grind going, to keep that energy, to keep that hunger. You have over 200 and something thousand federal inmates. And you have over 1 million plus in state prison throughout the United States. So it was my thinking, and there you go. It was my thinking that, man, that's right. And see, you got those who've been in prison, in the state prisons, and then you have those that's on parole and probation. So that's about another few million. So I just figured that our business was just going to boom, take off. Why? Because you have so many people out there that had committed crimes, and then you had so many that were criminal minded, and they would be having a hard time getting employment. So my partners and I, we thought that, you know what? We would design a business that displays all of this hustle talent, except the scandalousness. And it would thrive, and many people will come in. But ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, I'm disappointed, but I'm not discouraged. When I present my business to many of my brothers and sisters who've been locked up the whole bit, they think that I'm crazy. Because many of them have some grandiose ideas and dreams that they're going to succeed, and they're going to succeed in spite of the system being against them, in spite of all the laws being turned around on them. And don't get me wrong, we got Kamala Harris that's running for president. Man, I couldn't stand Kamala Harris when I was incarcerated, because Kamala Harris, she ratcheted up the charges and the different cases and the different statutes in the state of California, locking people up for practically nothing. She wanted to lock up parents for their kids committing truancy. But now on the other hand, you have to look at what you're dealt, and then you decide the lesser of both evils. Don't get me wrong, politics is something, it's like a turnstile. It's like a revolving door. You can be for someone today and then can't stand them tomorrow. Or you can't stand someone today and that's the person you'll be with tomorrow. Look at what your positions are. Let me give you a perfect example of that. When Michael Jordan played basketball for the Bulls, Michael Jordan was an employee. So Michael Jordan had to think a certain way as an employee. Right? So he was for the players. So when Michael Jordan went to Washington, he had part stake in ownership and was a player. So now he has to debate and mitigate with himself. He had to talk to himself like a fool. So then Michael Jordan had the opportunity to buy Charlotte Hornets. And he did. So now Michael Jordan needs to think like an owner, like a proprietor. He has nothing in common with the players anymore in terms of finance. So things change. Things changes from time to time in that particular situation. So now, I didn't mean to get on the political aspect of it the whole bit, but would I vote for Kamala Harris if I could vote? Yes, I would. I really, really would. Now, because there are certain circumstances. See, the eyes are upon her now. She can't do some of the things that she did in California. And in California, that was her platform. Now she's not running her agenda as she runs for president. That big political wheel, that machine is going to control her. And she's going to do what she do. But now I digress, but back to my sisters and brothers that's coming home from prison. Don't you know, everybody can't start a trucking company. Everybody can't get on social media and become famous for having a podcast. Everybody's not going to get a bunch of money from YouTube and a bunch of followers, and you're walking around talking about, your boosts, the algorithms, and all this other bullshit. Some of us are going to do it, but not all of us. Man, I've been on this podcast, man, for several years now. I haven't made a penny. I'm not soliciting it that way. I want to be a voice and get it out there. Now, would I love to get donations? Would I love to get monies from YouTube and Facebook and Instagram? Sure, I would love it. But all I would do is roll it back over into this and to try and reach out to the millions of sisters and brothers that have been incarcerated and having a hard time finding a job. Okay? So, everybody's not going to start a nonprofit and get monies from grants and government grants the whole bit. All of us don't come from a city where gangs are pervasive, and now you're going to get a gang violence grant, like Chicago or Memphis or New Orleans or California or Oakland or whatever, anywhere where gangs are, especially in the Midwest. Everybody's not going to get a grant. And see, you have to be careful. You have to understand, all you're looking at is some of your friends or someone that have gone out and got a grant for mentorship, for community activism, the whole bit. Many of you are delusional. Everybody's not going to get that. And when they give a grant to a certain area, man, they don't. Now you turn into another gang, because now it's five or six different groups and organizations now that's fighting for the same clientele, the same customers, and that are those that are deprived in your community. Man, Sonetquity has everything that will revitalize us as a people and the community. All the homelessness, all the joblessness, all those that are clothesless, mental health issues, the whole bit. And man, I'm on here basically begging every day, my partners and I. Many people that have gone to prison, at least 5 other people who've gone. Sit down at a round table. Plot and put together your plan the same way you would do if you had to buy that work. Let me tell you. You think that what we do is too complicated. All you have to do is sit down. We already got the idea for you. It's just as easy as AI. We've thought about everything for you. All you have to do is register. To register, you find someone that already has a number. You come in under that number, man. It's no different than you going on social media every day, posting shit, editing shit, putting music on different reels. But all you do is go to the site, register, sign up, pay your $65. Now, that's equivalent to you have gone and scored and you bought your dope, bruh. Now that you got your dope, now you're going to slice it up. Now you're going to call your 5 friends and you're going to say, hey, this is what you're going to do. You're going to sign up. The same thing with smart desktop AI. So this is the process, the whole process. So now you sign up your 5 members. When you sign up your 5 members with Sonetquity, you've already gotten $5 per head at your level 1. So you've gotten $25. You're making money now. Now you sign them up with smart desktop AI. You sign up your 5 members. Now you've gotten $300. You've gotten $300 for signing up those 5. Now you're managing. You're telling your 5 to do the same thing with Sonetquity for 5 levels. And now you're telling for smart desktop AI, you're telling them to do it for 2 levels. Now over here, if it's going for 5 levels, you make $19,500 a month. Over here, you can go as wide as you like. I don't know how many you have, but you're getting $15 a head per month for 2 levels. So if you sign 50,000 people, man, you're getting 50,000 times $15. Those numbers alone should make you jump at what it is that we're doing. But no, you'd rather go and get your CDL. Now you have to buy a truck or you have to work for someone else with a truck. The Hispanics, man, are outbidding you because they can go low. They understand. They understand unisons. They understand unity. They understand togetherness. We don't. This business was built with that in mind. It has taken away all the thought. You don't have to think a lot in order to do this business. Right? So now that you're starting to make money the whole bit, guess what? We have a real estate department with Sonetquity. Affordable housing. So now that you're starting to make money, you can purchase real estate for you to live in or for you to invest. Okay? If you have a 4-star athlete kid, man, or a 5-star athlete kid, now you can register with Nilly, right? And you can get an advancement, more money for your kid that he would not have to pay back if he qualifies. And if he, what does it take for him to qualify? 4-star, 5-star, and a commitment to a college. He could be in high school and still get paid. Okay? Then we have zero financing. We have zero down financing. You think that, man, people coming home from prison and many people that are having hard times and living through strife, they'll be jumping at this. See, what used to frustrate me, man, when I ran my organization and my group, I would assign someone to something and have them to do it. And the first minute that they would balk, the first minute that they would look puzzled, and the whole bit, you know what? I decided I don't want to use them at that. Because they're not dedicated, they're not hungry. You know, they get ready to question me. And there's nothing wrong. There's a difference in trying to gain information, trying to gain facts, as opposed to interrogation. There's a difference. And when I see that I'm about to be interrogated, I don't need you, so I end up doing it myself. And see, that has spoiled me, because that's the way that I had been looking at life. But I've always helped and I've always provided a way for all those around me to succeed and to prosper. But ladies and gentlemen, most of my friends think that I've lost my damn mind, because here we are every week, every day, I'm coming on here, man, and I'm pretty much begging you, man. I literally, man, I'm begging you guys to do something for yourself. I'm not begging you for you to help me come up. Man, I assure you, I've been home long enough, man. You know, I'm not starving. I got a roof over my head. Am I living the life that I was living prior to my incarceration? No. But I'm not living the life that I was living during my incarceration either. But I've come home and I've achieved more than many who've never been incarcerated, and they're still working the same job. That's a testament for one of us, either them or myself. But if we can get this thing together, I need more voices to show what it is that we have to offer. Because you know how we are. We go for the shiny things. We don't pay attention to anything, or we're not attracted to nothing unless it's shining. And once it starts to shine, once it starts to reflect and absorb the sunlight, now we want to be a part of it. I know people out there are literally laughing at me. And you know what hurts though? Because those that not around me the whole bit, it doesn't faze me. What hurts is that there are those that I know they love me and I love them. But they don't believe in what I'm trying to do. They don't believe that they can be helped and their life could be advanced if they come on board. But what hurts me is that if they're around and I start talking about Sonetquity, Back to the World, Billionaires Roundtable Conference, Capri Mortgage, Nilly, if I start talking about any of this, guess what? They say, oh, here he goes talking about this book. You know, it's almost that I've turned into the village idiot at the family barbecue. And that's until it blows up. And then once it blows up, you know what? Everybody's going to want to be your friend. That's not a problem to me. I don't care about any of that. You have to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know it by now, I have thick skin. I have thick skin. I had to serve 25 years before I even knew that I had an opportunity to be free. I was given 4 life sentences. So I served 25 years. I actually served 23 years under 4 life sentences. After I got clemency, I served 2 years, which was the hardest of my sentence. The last 2 years was the hardest incarceration of my life. But I survived it. There's not much that can rattle me. I mean, I was in the company, in the presence, murderers, extortionists, serial killers, not so much, well, rapists, but not so much child molesters and things of that nature. We weren't around that. I was around snitches in some degree, but they tried to keep the place pure, keep you away from all of that. I was around mafia figures. I was around Russian gangsters. I was around CIA spies. I was around guys who hired people to kill their family members or their wives and the whole bit. These are the people that I was around. Racists, guys cutting guys' heads off, right? One guy did a video a while back and he was talking about the most dangerous gangs in prison. Sound like he was at state. See, in prison, every gang is dangerous if you accosted them. And I don't know how you would rate it, but if you ask their enemies who's the worst, they would say that that particular gang is. But one thing that stood fast, though, no matter where you went, the Muslims were united throughout the entire prison system. Yes. Then you had citizen states that didn't operate with gangs, but they operated as a gang. And that's New Orleans and Washington, D.C. They didn't go on gangs the whole bit. If you was from New Orleans, wherever you go, that's what it was. If you was from Washington, D.C., wherever you go, that's what it was. And they came together. So nothing rattles me because I've seen it all. Nothing rattles me. We waking up to death. We gone to bed at night to rape. There's gambling, noises, the whole bit. All sorts of things going down. Extortion. People in prison putting contracts on people outside. And people outside putting contracts on people inside. Officers are a part of it. One officer shoots another officer. I've seen it all. But none of it frustrates me more than me trying to uplift my brothers and sisters and give them an opportunity that we have here. And they don't seem to appreciate it. But I'm not going to stop because I'm not discouraged. Frustrated, yes. Disappointed, yes. Discouraged, no. I'm not discouraged. I'm going to keep moving right ahead because you know what? My message is going to meet the right ear. And when it reaches the right ear, then it's going to take off to all of us who can't get a job, can't work for who we have here. It's going to take off. And you know what? I know a lot of brothers and sisters out there, you know, they like me, they respect me the whole bit. But they don't understand what it is that we're offering. They don't have a clue. Because somehow someone has told them that all they have to do is get a CDL and they can get a truck. No disrespect to the truck drivers out there, man, but let me tell you something, man. Whenever I'm on the freeway and I see an 18-wheeler, I'm wondering if it's somebody that I was incarcerated with. and somebody that I know that really just learned how to drive a truck. And the guy's been working 18, 19 hours a day, and he's about to fall asleep. There's a situation that I've shared on some of my podcasts before, and this is a true story. I knew someone that told me that they were driving down the highway, and there was an 18-wheeler in front of them that was zigzagging. And they waited for the right opportunity to overtake this 18-wheeler on the left-hand side in the speeding lane. And as they drove by, they looked up in the cabin and they saw that the driver of that vehicle had his chin to his chest. He was nodding and he was asleep or falling asleep. True story. But that's not the end of it. The end of it was when she looked up, that driver with his head in his chin was her brother. Yes, it was her brother. So she honked the horn, and he woke up a little bit and then just looked glassy-eyed and kept driving. Was he drunk, high, intoxicated? No, he was tired. He was tired. She tried calling him on the phone, and he didn't answer. I think because of their job, they can only make calls out. Couldn't nobody call them. Okay? Tracy Morgan of New York, the comedian. He was hit by a guy driving a truck for Walmart. Guy worked almost 20-something hours. But that's the first thing that we want to do. Everybody now wants to get out and write a book, because they've heard that everyone has a story. And everyone does. And if you think that your story is good enough for everyone to read, by all means, you should publish that book. But don't hang your hat on that, because there are so many books out there with a story. Listen, there are some individuals that want to do a movie and a documentary on my life. Right? That's the truth. And I had to interview multiple times. And then a couple of the guys said, okay, well, what makes your story different? All right, we got BMF, we had Ghost, we had Scarface, and we had American Gangster. Okay, Tony, what makes your drug story different? And then you have to sincerely think about it. Okay, what makes my story different? All right, how is your story going to differ from the rest of those other stories? Because when you heard one, you've heard them all. What's going to transcend yours above theirs? Well, all I say now is say, wait and read the book, or wait and watch the movie, and you'll see. That's what I say now. But the point I'm trying to make is this, sisters and brothers, and I've been on a minute. I've been just going on one, man. But as I said again, it's so frustrating and it's so disappointing to have something that benefits so many and no one wants to partake in it. We have a publishing company. We have a real estate business. We have a charity where we give away food. We have a food drive. We build tiny homes. We have a real estate business that offers zero down financing. We're working on affordable health care right now. But everyone wants to drive a truck. Everyone wants to get a 501c3 and get grant from the government, the city, state, or the government. And little do you know, man, if you don't have a plan for this money the whole bit, man, and you misuse this money, your ass going back to jail. DM us, DM me, contact us so I can share more about Sonetquity, smart desktop, AI, and all of our other endeavors, the whole bit. Because when I'm just giving it to you like this in sound bites, man, it doesn't resonate well. And I just wish that I had many of you on asking me questions and I can answer your questions, and that you wanted to know the answers to your questions sincerely, because I'm going to give you the answers sincerely. That's what we're here for. So I ask that you guys DM us and find out more about smart desktop AI and Sonetquity and all the other things that we have to offer in our fold. There's so much to say and so much to share, man, but you know, I get lost, man, sometimes, and it hurts. It hurts because I built this, man, and just thinking that everyone getting out of prison. I have a young man right now. He just came home, and we were supposed to get together for lunch and the whole bit, because I mentored him on writing and everything and business. And this brother's been home. This brother's been home now for a couple of months, and we have not seen one another. We've only talked over the phone, and we've texted one another. Well, now he has a job where he works 18 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week. And see, you become a slave to that, right? And after you start accumulating things, after you start buying things, and then you start applying for credit like everybody's saying this is the thing to do, then you're going to realize that you done boxed yourself in. And now you become imprisoned again. And before you know it, you're going to start picking up things. So we're just trying to reach out to you to make your life fruitful financially. That's what we're here for. We're offering it to you, but no one is reaching for it. Not at the numbers that I thought they would. Because there are many, many, many of us doing badly than those that are doing good. And those are the ones that I wanted to target. I don't like to use that term target, but when you have a bunch of people that's homeless, a bunch of people that's hungry, you're not trying to give the food to the people that are full. You're trying to feed those who are hungry. Too Short, what's going on, brother? Man, peace, brother. Man, it's good seeing you, man. I'm still on what I'm on, Too Short. We're growing slowly but surely, man. Man, but I'm trying to get the ears, man. Look, the things that you and Jay are doing up there, man, it's awesome. It's wonderful. Man, but you guys have the ear to the ground, the ears to the streets. And, and see, just getting these young brothers and sisters, man, good, man, good. I'm good, Short. I'm working, brother. I'm still working. And as I said, man, I need guys like you and Jay, man. I need you guys because you have your ears to the streets. And see, a lot of these brothers and sisters, if they're in the streets, you got to give them something that'll take them out of the streets. You got to give them something that'll replace what it is that they're doing. You got to give them something that's going to feed their families the whole bit and make them prosperous. We have that. We have that, Jay. We have that, Short. I don't have the ear to the people in the streets the whole bit. I just really want you to sit down, man, and take a look at what it is that we have to offer. We got zero down financing. We have this shirt right here. We give advancements, man, to 4-star and 5-star athletes. Okay? We have a food drive where we give away food the whole 9 yards. But we have my book club and my smart desktop AI. It's geared for your guys. It's geared, let me see, we have a port connection. It's geared for your guys, and it has the same structure as your organization, Short. It would be easy to implement. You know it from start to finish, man, from the times that we've had and shared. But I look forward to actually giving it to you because I'm giving it to you now in sound bites. And it goes in one ear and it comes out the other. What's up, Lester? How you doing, brother? Thank you. So, yeah, but that's what it is, Short. We're about to wrap up, man. But, Short, man, I hope you have my number. If not, DM me. And I really want to truly sit down and tell you what it is we have and what's the mechanics of it. And it doesn't interfere with what you're doing. I wish that I could do what you're doing. I'm not plugged in like that. But what I can do, I can offer something of value to what you're already doing. And it will expand not only through the gang and the gang violence, but it will expand in and out throughout the community as well. And everyone can partake and benefit. This is the way we take our communities back.
Hello, Moto.
So, at any rate, let me see. Hold on a sec. Good morning. Hold on a sec. Let me turn this phone off, man. I was just wrapping up on a podcast, Ray. So we're about to end it right now.
All right, go ahead when you get done.
No, well, I'm done right now. I'm wrapping up. All right. So everybody, y'all take care. Peace. Yeah, I'm wrapping up right.